Good morning and welcome to another episode of Tokyo Reds. We're Liverpool fans based in the land of the rising sun, and today we're in Shibuya again at Scramble Crossing, busiest crossing in the world. And yeah, let's talk about the game. It was absolutely awful. Liverpool lost 2-0 to Hull. I'm sure you've all seen it, and also you all know the results. I'm sure you've had to put up with other fans taking the piss as well. If you haven't seen, we're not going to really talk that much about the game today. There's too many questions that need to be asked about the team, about the players, about the management as well, to be honest. So yeah, first of all, John, what were your thoughts overall?
Shit, basically, just shit. It's like, I don't really know what else to say, you know what I mean? It was just, actually it was concerning because it wasn't surprising. Like, we'd been joking in the videos that, oh yeah, we'll go up and we'll get a result against Chelsea, but we're going to lose against Hull. You know what I mean? Like, and, it happened, and yeah, piss poor.
Yeah, it just didn't turn up, man. Didn't turn up at all. Tom?
Just horrible. I stayed up really late to watch it as well. And I was watching, I was just like, I can't believe I'm seeing this. Especially after Chelsea, we've turned a corner. This side we beat 5-1 earlier on the season. And yeah, it was just, I just looked around, and the worst thing is kind of like John was saying, I wasn't surprised. I was like, I know what's coming. We're just going to dominate, and they're going to get us on the break. We're shit in defence. Just horrible. Thanks.
Yeah, and that's it. If you haven't seen the goals, just if you've watched any game for this year and you've seen every goal that Liverpool have conceded, they're the two goals. The goalie makes a mistake, they score, and they hit us on the break with a long ball and they score. So yeah, same old shit really. So let's get into the questions, because I'm just going to go mental. So first of all, James Milner. He was excellent first part of the season, playing well out of position, left back, and yeah, you can play out of position for a few games and I think you can get away with it, but over an entire season I think you get found out. So John, yeah, has James Milner, is playing out of position for such a long time starting to show now?
Yeah, that was the kind of most disappointing thing about January, well, besides the results, but one of the most disappointing things about January was we didn't find the replacement for, like our weakest position, really. The fact that we've had to play a central midfielder at left back, speaks volumes of where we are defensively. And that January should have been the time where we got him back in the game. I know Gomez is back, but, he's unproven, you know what I mean? And he's come back from 2 years of injury, basically. And Moreno just has shown no signs of improvement. So, yeah, it was just... Yeah, like I say, he's been found out.
Yeah. So, Tom, why do you think we haven't gone for a left back? We've had summer and January now, and we still haven't got one. Why do you think the one hasn't come in?
In all honesty, I have no idea, because I thought, Milner's done a good job there, but it's not his natural position, and I honestly don't know what's going on there, because January we were so quiet. We were so quiet in the market. I thought, are we going to add something to the squad? Are we going to get rid of someone? But to be honest, it makes no sense, and I'm not blaming Klopp, because obviously it's coming from higher up, but yeah, Milner, and like I say, for the first half of the season, it's fine, he's done a good job, but now he looks so out of place, and something should have been done. I have no idea why.
The thing is as well, like, what is he, like 30, 32, yeah, and no offence to him, but we've played, how many games did we play in January? Played like 9 games, and I think it was only like 2 he didn't play, and it does show, you know what I mean? Like, his age did show a bit. Like, I think he's a great player, don't get me wrong, but yeah.
I just think, we rely on a fullback so much in our system, where to provide us with width and defense. It's a really, really, really hard position to play. And like I say, few games, yeah, no problem, like start of the season, no problem, until you get someone in. But the fact we haven't got one in and we're relying on a centre midfielder to be our left back, I just think it's mental, to be honest. But I got a lot of love for James Milner, of course, but I do feel sorry for him in many ways. So the next person who has had a lot of criticism over the last few weeks has been Emre Can. We've criticised him, said he slows our game down, which he certainly does. Does he suit Klopp's style, that pressing midfield?
He suits the pressing part. He doesn't suit the getting back part. Like, I can't remember who it is from Hull, one of their wingers. They cross it in, and to be fair, there's like no communication between him and Lucas, but the ball's like moving at such a slow pace, and Can just drops off, and then like they pick the ball back up, and then he doesn't even go in for the challenge. You know what I mean? So it's like, I know he's only young and he's got a lot of potential, but he really needs to work on his all-round game if he's going to play in that position. You can't just be all right at going forwards and not even track back, because that's what we rely on. So yeah, another one just pissed me off a bit, to be honest with you.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, yeah, he is young, but we got YNWA on the bench, who, when we were mint, it was Wijnaldum, Lallana, and Henderson in midfield. Why is Gini not starting ahead of Chan?
Again, it made no sense, because when I saw Chan starting, I thought, Wijnaldum, especially in midweek, he's got another goal, and he's the kind of player, he can break up defences, he's very good going forward. And Chan, one of the most frustrating things for me was the amount of times against Hull, but not just Hull, it's happened quite a few times. He gets the ball, he's in a good position, but he's so indecisive, and he can't make his mind up, do I pass, do I shoot? And by the time he decides to have a shot, they've got maybe 3 or 4 players in the way. The chance is gone. The amount of times, you're creating it, but he's too indecisive. He doesn't, he's not quick on his feet. And at the back as well, I know he's young and he's had some good performances, but at the back, I feel like he's just too much of a liability. He slows our game down. I always say, John Barnes in his older years, I remember going to Anfield in the mid-90s, John Barnes in his older years, and one of the most frustrating things was he was slowing down on midfield. We'd be having these counter-attacks with McManaman and Redknapp, and get to Barnes and he'd kind of hold it off, turn the ball around, and all of a sudden the counter-attack's gone. And I did see that with Chan. I know he's young, keep him in the squad till the end of the season, but Wijnaldum, he should have started. In my opinion, Wijnaldum, it's a no-brainer.
I completely agree. I think not only is he good going forward, Wijnaldum, but he's also very, very quick off the ball as well, and he, closes players down really fast, wins the ball a lot. I thought he was fantastic against Chelsea. Really, really, really good. And why he didn't start against Hull, I have no idea. I think it's the same old Liverpool thing. We just think, it's all right. It doesn't matter who we play against Hull. It doesn't matter, we'll win. And that's just a big mentality problem, in my opinion. Daniel Sturridge. All of our attackers, apart from Mane, are kind of out of form at the moment. But Daniel Sturridge has just been, he hasn't done anything. Is his time at Liverpool over now, or what?
It's looking like it, isn't it? To be honest with you, I think this was probably going to be his last season anyway. I like to say, I really like Sturridge, but he's come back into the squad at a time when nothing's working. And, it's kind of not fair on him, really, I suppose, as well, because it's like nothing's working for the team and they're putting him on and then he can't really do anything, because the system isn't changing. Basically, you're just swapping him in for another player and keeping the system the same, and it doesn't really play to his strengths. And I know maybe you could argue he should adapt his game, but not when there's 20 minutes left, you know what I mean? He should, I don't know.
No, yeah, mate, I just think it's a shame as well, because he's really good on his day, but he just hasn't performed at all. Again, I don't know if it's a mentality issue or what, but we'll come on to a bit of that in a minute. Lucas Leiva, he's getting on. There's talk of him going in January. He's playing at centre back. We've got Joe Gomez. Is Joe Gomez a better player, do you think, to play in that position, or can Lucas Leiva handle it?
It's difficult. I mean, Lucas, he has his good days. Maybe he does have his good days, but he's getting on, and I just think he's at a point in his career where he's not going to get better for us. I think Gomez, chuck him in. I know it's a risk. Of course, it's a risk, but then look, we're playing Lucas and Milner in our back four. They're not natural defenders. I love Lucas. He's a servant, but yeah, I think Gomez should have played above him. And at times, just on Saturday against Hull, I just never felt safe with him there. Like Matip, yeah, but I just didn't feel safe with him. There's just, it just always looks like there's a mistake in him every match. I'm sorry, because I love him, but yeah.
I agree. I think if we just signed Joe Gomez onto a longer deal, play him, man. Let's develop him now. Let's get him in there. He should be our, if Klavan and Lovren can't play or whatever, he should be our backup defender, to be honest. And
well, we're playing Chan, aren't we? So.
Well, that's it, and it just makes more sense to me. But there we are. So yeah, talking about decisions and all that, we've got to talk about Jurgen Klopp. Everyone's in the line of criticism, to be fair, and we've backed him a lot ever since we started, and I think questions need to be asked now. So John, do you think it's just a case of teams have just figured us out now, and we don't really know how to counteract that?
Yeah, definitely. The thing is, they figured us out, and we haven't changed. So nothing's really changed. They just push us out wide. I mean, this game against Hull, they were trying to play behind, the back four. So basically, they were kicking the ball around, passing it around, and then as soon as either Mane or one of the fullbacks just went on a run to try and get behind the back. But the thing is now that teams are playing like with the two banks, and so the defenders are like pretty much on the goal line, so you can't even play behind them. And so all that teams are doing now is just like waiting for us to push because we press so high. Like push, wait for the defenders to get on the halfway line because it's Lucas and Matip. They're not the fastest. All you need is a quick player, just to hoof it towards them, and then, that's what happened against Holland. Yeah, and then that's all teams need to do is either wait to hit us on that break, wait for the centre-backs to get on the halfway line, or wait for a set piece. That's it, and that's how we beat Liverpool.
Yeah, just wait for a mistake is the main one, man. It just angers me so much. So, how or can Klopp fix it?
I think he needs to just mix up the tactics. An obvious thing in terms of players, put Ronaldo in, start playing Ronaldo again, but he needs to kind of mix up the tactics. And I love Klopp. I really love him. He's very passionate. In fairness, we're what? I think we're 10 points more at this stage than we were last season. I think it was about 10. He has done a better job, but it's because we've started so well. But he does need to mix it up because, Tottenham, our next match, they're going to come and try to win. That suits our tactics. That suits the way we play. But these lower teams, they're defending, and exactly like John was saying, it's just they know what to do. They know what to do, and we've got a terrible defence as well. We need to, he needs to strengthen the keeper. Of course, that wasn't done in January. We need a left back, another centre back. But in terms of tactics, yeah, he just needs to have a plan B. He really needs to mix it up a bit because at this rate, the teams have found us out. Hull, Burnley, they know what to do against us. So
he needs to find a way to draw out at players, to draw out the opposition. That's what he needs to do. There's no point having 70% possession when you're playing in their centre, in their half. He needs to find a way to figure out a system where you draw them in and then hit them on the break. Because we've got such a creative attacking force that as soon as we hit people on the break, that's how we score. You know what I mean? We only need like about 4 passes, and then we've scored. And that's what we need to do.
Yeah, that's the thing, we're mint when the other team gets the ball, and then we can get it back off them and score, If the people just give us the ball, we've got no idea. We're too one-dimensional. Same thing happened against Swansea, same thing against Hull. We've just seen it time and time again, so we need to switch it up and change it. And hopefully, I believe in Klopp, I obviously do. But there's a lot of people, John, that don't at the moment. So, hashtags going out there, Klopp out, even more so after the debacle at the weekend. Or the other night even. Do you think? The weekend. Sorry. Do you think? Are they right?
Nah. Not at all. One, it's a stupid fucking movement, isn't it? Because who are you going to get then? It's like, all right, if Klopp goes, who's out there that's going to come to Liverpool? Not that we're like a small club, but everyone's kind of content at the moment. All the managers are in the positions where they probably want to be in. But it's kind of like what Rodgers famously said. He's like, "Oh, give me 3 years and judge me then." And that's what you've got to do. You've got to invest time into these managers. And Klopp's he's been in Champions League finals. He's won leagues. He's won stuff, and you can see it in the players what he wants them to do. But you've got to kind of put question marks on the players as well. You can't just be all down to the manager. You can see his system, but it's just not being implemented that well. So it's half dozen one and the other, you know what I mean? So.
No, I completely agree. I think a lot of criticism does have to be lined at the players. We had 22 shots against Hull and 5 on target. It's just not good enough. Do you know what I mean? And we're just poor, really. We're just very, very poor. But Tom, how long? John's just touched on it there. How long do you reckon we should give the manager?
I don't think we can. Again, I don't think we can judge him purely on this season. So this is his first full season in the Premier League. I would definitely start him with next season. But if of course we have a terrible finish this year, and it doesn't look like he has got a plan B, it doesn't look like he can kind of get us into the top 4, then next season reassess it halfway through. But definitely, this season, I think his job's safe, definitely. But next season, if things aren't picking up, then start to ask serious questions.
The bad thing is, we've got to remember where we've come from. If we finish 7th this season, we've done better than last season. That's mental to think. But so obviously we don't finish 7th, you know what I mean. But we've got to put things in perspective, and that's what people aren't doing.
That's it. I mean, it's the fickleness of football. You know what I mean? I try to stay out of that as much as possible. And end of the day, like, we can't. We're going through a blip. Every team goes through a blip. You know, Chelsea were lucky that their blip was at the beginning of the season, and now they're conquering everything, and they're going to win the league by the looks of it. But still plenty of football left in this season. I still believe we can. You know, and the big question is, which I'm going to ask now, is can we finish in the top 4?
I think so. You know, I think like historically we seem to do really well at the end of the season. We seem to pull our finger out and then always have a strong finish. You know, and all you need to do is just go on a run. It's like, look at Man United. You know, we were laughing at like where they were a few months ago. They went on that like 14 games is it without losing. And you know, they're what, a point behind us now. So all it takes is like maybe 2 months of a good run, and then obviously not in the title race, but you're back into the race for top 4. You know, so and, you know, it's a difficult league as well. Look at Pep Guardiola. Like he had something like he'd want to get a trophy every 6 months. You know, it looks like he's going to do nothing with City this year. So
no, there has to be a lot of perspective put onto it. You know what I mean? I think it took Alex Ferguson 7 years, something like that, to win his first Premier League. It took Klopp 5 years to win the league with Dortmund. So it's going to take time. Do you know what I mean? Especially we're doing things differently to everybody else. So we have to give it time. We have to see how it goes. And I'm fully backing Klopp, but you know, he needs to sort it out, obviously. But I'm sure I believe he will do. Tom, top 4. It's on, or?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely within our grasp. I mean, we've had a bad run, and we've gone from second to 5th, but we're 2 points behind Arsenal, who they were second. No, sorry, they were joint second at the start of the weekend. They're now 4th, 2 points behind Arsenal. I think 4 points off Spurs, 3 off City. Of course, it's within our grasp, and that's when we've had a bad run. So if we get a run going, and we've got to play each of those sides above us. Tottenham and Arsenal come to Anfield, City away. We've got good records against. That's another thing. We've got good records against the top 6. We took 4 points off Chelsea this season, so I think it's well within our grasp. I'm going to say now, because I think we will get our form back. I'd be surprised if we didn't make top 4. I'd be very, very surprised. I think we've got it in us. As soon as this blip's over, the better. But I definitely think, like John was saying, you know, I think we'll go on like a mad run near the end of the season. Chelsea, 13 points. I mean, that's just get as close to them as you can. But I definitely think top 4 is well within our grasp, even second.
Yeah, fair enough. I certainly hope you're right, mate. So yeah, let us know. Do you think we'll get in the top 4? Let us know in the comment section down below. If you haven't subscribed already, hit the subscribe button and like the video. And follow us on I always get this wrong. Follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook. That's the one. And we'll see you after the game. Before the Spurs game. That's the one. And we'll see you later. Up the Reds. Bye bye.